My name's Nick Gornick. I was born in Chicago, Illinois, and I come from a family of immigrants. My grandparents were immigrants from the former Yugoslavia at the time. Both grandfathers were born in Croatia. My dad and mom were both born in the United States, but my dad grew up in an orphanage where he learned how to play the Tamaburaski instruments. And in our house, every Saturday morning when other kids were getting up and maybe listening, watching cartoons, my dad would throw on Tamaburaski music, whether it was Croatian, Serbian, Macedonian. We were exposed to all of the music from the former Yugoslavia. And it has just become a way of life for us. Unfortunately, neither of my parents speak the language, so we only do things phonetically in my family.
So you know to sing every single song, but you don't know you cannot make conversation.
I cannot make conversation. I tried taking lessons when I was a young kid and it didn't stick, but the culture, the music, the way it feels, the food, the events, the sense of family and community has really stuck with us, and I don't know that my life would be the same at all if I didn't have membership to this incredible club of ethnic people.
Is this your profession? You're doing this only, or you have another profession?
My profession is with as a project manager. So this is really only a hobby that just happens to be very rewarding.
Yeah, but you guys are playing and singing all around the United States.
Yeah, this after COVID in particular, once all the restrictions lifted, it seems like this year in particular, 2022, has been a very good year. People just wanting to get out and be part of the community again. So we've played, now California, but we played in Detroit, Upper Peninsula of Michigan, Milwaukee, around the Chicago area. It's been a good year for playing.
And who likes you most, our people or Americans?
You know, it's with this particular group, I think we have the ability to bridge between the Serbian and Croatian and Macedonian music, as well as adapting American music to our instruments. So we're able to bridge the gap because we are born here. American music, whether it's British pop, Beatles, country, that's also a part of us since we were born here.
I saw last night people are dancing and singing. It doesn't matter if it's Balkan music or it's American.
Yeah, and I think the one thing that we've learned through the years is that the audience, the participants, make a difference. When you have people out there that are dancing, that are willing to participate and interact with you, it makes it fun for us, and then it makes it fun for them, and then it makes it fun for us. It feeds off of itself.
So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question, but it's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right.
How are you? I'm Steve Kieran from Chicago. We're here with the KGB band, having a great time. It's about our 7th trip here to Opelo, and we've loved every single one of them. So it's a long road to get here. We started when we were quite young. I was 8 years old when I started playing, and we all played together. Our fathers played, and we just grew up with this music. And then we became a group in around 1979, and we've been together ever since. So just having a great time. It's great to see people here having fun, and that's what it's all about, is just enjoy the company of everyone, enjoy the music, enjoy the great wine. Make sure you buy some, and that's who I am.
Yeah. Did you guys grow up together?
We didn't grow up necessarily together, but we were always at the same picnic groves because our fathers played. So we had a chance to, what they say, cradle to grave. We're going to be together till the end. So, but we had a lot of fun, and it was. I actually thought everybody grew up this way. Every party, every time we got together, the instruments came out of the cars, and everyone started playing. So we really were blessed to grow up in this way.
So your instrument is not so big that you can take it.
Well, yes. I've been very happy throughout the years that my dad taught me how to play the preem, the very little one, and what I'm currently playing, the brach, because I would not want to carry around the bass everywhere I go. So I'm very happy that he taught me those instruments.
Okay, Duško.
Yes.
You came from Sarasota here to Paso Robles.
I did.
Which is your koji ovo puta dolaziš?
This is our 7th year.
70.
7 years that we've been playing here. And yes, last year and this year I came from Sarasota. Previously I came from Carlsbad. So it was a lot closer, but.
How did you guys met together? Because they live in Chicago, you were living in California.
Well, I grew up in Chicago.
Oh, you grew up.
I grew up in Chicago, and I used to book these guys at my Coombs restaurant, Golden Shell. So they would play either on Friday night or Saturday night, depending. You know, it's like they were always like the 3rd or 4th group that I would contact. I'm just kidding. They were great back then. They were called Sinovi, and people loved them. So I've known them for at least 35, 40 years. And so when Rick called and he asked me if I would play for this thing 7 years ago, I said, well, who am I playing with? He goes, the KGB. I said, oh, I know them. It's perfectly fine. And ever since, it's really nice.
How people like when you play accordion, Americans?
They appreciate it. I notice even when we play here for the mixed crowd, and also when I play for a mixed wedding, people are amazed. You know, so they love the sound of accordion, and they realize it's a lost art. I actually played in Milwaukee a couple of weekends ago. The bus driver for the bridal party came over, and he wanted to know if I would give him a lesson. He thought I was from, Milwaukee. I said, no, I'm from Florida. But he wanted to play accordion.
So why did you move from California to Florida?
A couple of reasons, but mostly because it was warmer in Florida. As you can see, California can be cool, on the cooler side. And as I'm growing older, I realized I need the heat and humidity. So that was the other one reason. The other reason was we're closer to Europe, and because both my wife and I are retired, we wanted to travel during the summertime, and it at least cuts 5 hours from our travel to Europe. And that's basically it.
And price.
And economics, yes. Economically, it makes sense. We got a lot more for our money in Florida than what we had in California. But I have no complaints about California. Love the state. I miss the hills and the mountains, which I'm not going to get in Florida.
How many gigs you're gonna play this year? Actually, to the end of this year, and do you have something booked for next year? Okay, well we're here.
Not gonna. I started playing in 1972, and I thought when we moved to California in 2003, maybe another 2 or 3 years, and that would be it. And that's not happening. This year was more we had more jobs than I did with my other band from Chicago than we did in probably last 10 years. We had 7 weddings. It's all our friends' kids getting married. And it was an honor to play for those weddings. I still have 2 more, and but typically on the average, maybe about 4 or 5 gigs, and I'm very happy with that. I get to be with my friends, my musical friends, and I get to see all my friends from Chicago, from Indiana, from Wisconsin, and so I enjoy that part.
Yeah, but music is just your hobby. You are something different.
It's hobby. I retired. I was a scientist for Pfizer for 29 years. I worked in the lab all my life, whether it was in the hospital or in the research laboratory. But I always loved music, and you know, it stuck with me. It feels good when you play, you know, and when you sing.
And I don't know. I know that the
It is.
Hi, my name's Joe Kieran. I'm here at Opalo Festival, Harvest Festival. I started playing tambura when I was 9 years old in a folklore group, and you know, our parents made us be in that folklore group and learn how to play and dance, but I stopped dancing and I just went with playing, and eventually I wound up meeting different people and the guys we play with, and my dad and uncle played in a band together, and my cousin Steve and I, we were born with I think we were born with a love for the music, and it was just pretty much part of our blood and our whole makeup. And eventually we met Joe and Nick Gornick, and we played together and we learned together, and we virtually in a lot of ways grew up together. And so our connection was the music, and it's really become a major, big part of our lives, big part of my life.
Is it possible to live only from music, or you have to do something else?
It is possible, but I do something else. I do have a job, and I would say this is more than a hobby. I don't think a hobby captures what we do. I think really if the financial stuff was there, this would be our primary work. Yes, for sure, because we love it. You know, you get to do what you love, and That's an important thing.
Who is giving more tips, Americans or our people from Balkana?
Naši.
Naši su naučili da
Yeah, yeah. Americans are willing to learn,
But you have to teach them.
but we have to teach them what to do.
You have to work like a tour guide, and then, you know, say...
We have to tell them to come to the event with a lot of money and, you know, teach them. We have to show them how you put it on the instrument. And you have many instruments. You put money on an instrument on accordion one way, harmonica, but then you have a bass prim or a tambura, you have to put it, a berde, you have to put it up on top. You have all different ways to put money on the...
ways to put in the bass.
And on the bass too. And sometimes they put it on your forehead, your cello.
Yeah, yeah.
You know. So it's a very complicated process, but Americans are willing to learn, I think.
We have to teach them.
We have to teach them, yes, exactly.
We help them.
Yeah.
So how was so far on this festival this year?
This festival is always great, even one year when it rained so much, because it's unique. We play a lot of jobs, and we don't play anything else like this, nowhere, that I've ever recall.
This is my first, third time, and I'm amazed. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's really unique. It's really a culture of people. It doesn't matter whether they're Americans here or our people. We all have a connection to the wine and the camaraderie and being together and enjoying the music and just actually being in this part of the world, in California, and it's a beautiful country.
Well, Mama, she done told me, Papa done told me too. Son, I got when she ain't no good for you. Well, that's all right, that's all right, Mama. Anyway, I'm leaving town to show. You won't have to bother me hanging around your door. That's all right, that's all
My name is Joe Gornick. I'm the bass player in the band, and I've been playing with these guys for a long time. Since we were kids, we've been playing together, making this music. It's been a great ride.
How did you start playing bass? Why not another instrument?
Yeah. So my dad, John Gornick, he taught tambura to kids, a little ensemble of kids. And he started a new year off, and he had about 20 students. Some were playing prim, some were playing brač, some were playing Bulgaria, some were playing cello, but he didn't have a bass player. So and he taught in our basement of our house where we grew up. And he needed a bass player, so hey Joe, come down here, I need you. And I was upstairs watching TV or something. I was 9 years old. And I came down and he says, Joe, from this day, you're gonna play bass. And that's how I started, because my dad, he needed a bass player. I was little. I was a little kid, 9 years old, and the bass was so big, I had to stand on a chair. Stand in a chair to learn to play the bass. So that's how it started. That was over 50 years ago. Long time, been playing a long time.
I just asked your friend, because when you travel, how difficult it is
To travel with the instruments?
travel with instruments?
Yeah, so I used to travel with my own bass, but there were some times where the bass got damaged on the airplane. They don't take good care of it. So after that happened a couple of times, I said, I'm not going to travel with my bass. So here at Opalo, Rick Quinn has a bass. So he lets me use his bass, and I'm grateful for that, so I don't have to travel with the bass. It's really hard with the bass. Even if you package it up and wrap it up, they just throw it, you know what I mean, with the cargo.
They don't care.
So yeah, I won't travel with my own bass anymore.
How did you guys met? And how did you, when did you start it together?
We started as kids. Well, one of the guys in the band is my brother Nick. So I met him when he was in diapers. But the other guys, Joe and Steve Kieran, they're cousins, and their dads and my dad knew each other from the 1950s. And they played in a tambura orchestra when they were young men in the 1950s. And so our families, we're like kumovi, you know? We've always been together. And so the music got passed down to us from our fathers, and they taught us to play. And we've had this great fun playing in a band together since we were kids.
When did you start playing for Opolo?
I think this is probably the 7th year, maybe around 2015, 2014, 2015, something like that. Rick called us and asked us if we would like to come out and play for his festival. And we said, yeah, you know, because we had heard that it's beautiful out here, the vineyards, the property, the people, and then to have the chance to be part of that is really special as a musician, to be asked to take part with it. And we meet guys like you, Dragan, you know? It's all good all the way around.
All the way around. And Americans like to play and to dance.
They do. You know, there's something about the music, it's universal. Like everybody can relate to it. Well, everybody can relate to drinking the wine and, you know, boys and girls and having fun and dancing. And even if the songs are in a different language, they can still relate to it through the rhythm, the feeling, the way it touches your heart, right? We could be doing a Spanish song and people would feel the same way, you know, as doing a Serbian song or doing an Elvis Presley song. You know, music brings people together. And I think Opolo, this particular setting, really does a great job of bringing people together. It's like there are no international borders or boundaries. It's like we're all having a good time together.
And Rick put together all our people from all America.
Amazing, amazing. He's very special in how he can relate to people. People just naturally gravitate towards him because he's such a kind soul. You know, he's just a likable guy and he's that way because he cares about other people. We come out here as musicians and he treats us like we are family and royalty. You know, he really treats us very special. So we love coming out here for that and being part of his family through this festival.